This song is for those who struggle with the calling and the purpose God has upon your life. I encourage you to surrender all to Christ and say yes to His will. Here's my story. Searching for answers, needing solutions, fighting the obvious call on my life, following my purpose. It was a dream I felt was impossible, until I gave my hopes, my dreams and goals to the one who knows. He knows the plans He has for me if I surrender my will. Episode of Jammin' with the Maestro, an inspirational gospel radio show sponsored by the Lewis Chapel Missionary Baptist Church Network. I am your host, songwriter, recording artist, and minister of music, Will Harris. We have a very exciting show for you today. But before we get into the show, go ahead, click like, and share this broadcast with someone. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to us so that you never miss an episode of Jammin' with the Maestro. We're going to start off this morning with something quite fun. We're going to have a little fun in Jesus this morning. We're going to do a small gospel music trivia. How well do you know your gospel music? Okay? So the first question that we have for you today: who is the father of black gospel music? Is it James Cleveland? Is it Thomas Dorsey? Is it Edwin Hawkins? Or is it John P. Key? You got four answers there. James Cleveland, Thomas Dorsey, Edwin Hawkins, John P. Key. Think about it. Who is the father of black gospel music? The answer is Thomas Dorsey. Many of you all probably know the famous hymn, Precious Lord, Take My Hand. That's what we know Thomas Dorsey for, but he is also known as the father of black gospel music. We've got two more for you this morning. What is the name of the first hymn book published by the National Baptist Convention in 1921? The name of the first hymn book. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you. It's called The Gospel Pearl. It is called The Gospel Pearl, published in 1921. Here's our last one for today. This song, arranged by Edwin Hawkins, sparked the contemporary gospel music period. It was recorded in 1967. What is your answer? This song sparked the contemporary gospel music period, recorded in 1967. What is your answer? Your answer should be, Oh Happy Day. Oh Happy Day is the song that sparked contemporary gospel music, arranged by Edwin Hawkins in 1967. That sparked the contemporary gospel music period. So that's the beginning of our show today. We just want to do something a little fun. Gospel music trivia. How well do you know your gospel music? Listen, we're going to move right into our show. Today we have a very special guest. He is my mentor. I call him a friend. He's someone I can count and depend on. When I'm having issues in my music ministry, I call him for advice. He's a renowned musician, choir director extraordinaire. His music credentials include a Doctor of Music Arts degree in church music and conducting from the University of Memphis, a Master of Music in Organ Performance from the University of Massachusetts, a certificate from the Royal School of Church Music, Croydon, England, and a Bachelor of Music degree from Roosevelt University, Chicago, Illinois. He is the Minister of Music and Worship at the Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church in Memphis, Tennessee, where he has served for more than 30 years. Would you please welcome my mentor? I call him Pops, Dr. Leo Davis. How you doing, Dr. Davis?
I'm doing well. It is so good to see you, Will. Professor Harris.
It's wonderful.
And I want to just start by commending you on just phenomenal work that you're doing. Your work, your writing, your compositional writing has just blossomed, and it is a tremendous blessing to the community. So I'm honored to be here sharing with you today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davis, for taking the time. I know you're a busy man, so we really, really appreciate it. Listen, I want to tell the audience how I first became introduced to your work.
Okay.
I was attending the Church of God in Christ convention in Memphis, Tennessee, many years ago. I believe it was being held at Bountiful Blessings, Temple of Deliverance.
Okay.
And your church choir, Mississippi Boulevard, first of all, they were attired in this beautiful African print looking garments, got on stage, and you all sang My Soul's Been Anchored in the Lord, arranged by Moses Hogan.
Right.
And
Right.
then you switched gears and you sang some gospel number. I don't know what it was, but the diversity there was so amazing to me. And I said, oh my God, I want to do that. I want to be like
Wow.
this man here. So kudos to you and your choir and for all of the work
Lord, I
you put in.
remember that. I
Yeah.
remember that night. Oh my goodness, Lord. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's been years ago. Years ago. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Awesome. So before we begin talking with Dr. Davis, I want to introduce our listening audience to your work. I was so inspired by this next piece that we're getting ready to play. It's a music video that you put together during the pandemic. It's called Rest. I believe Rest is written by V. Michael McKay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it is. That's correct.
Rest is written by V. Michael McKay, but this piece is performed by Dr. Davis's church choir, Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church Choir, and it is a virtual video. And it's just showing us ways that we can continue doing ministry even in this pandemic. So I want our listening audience to take a look at Rest, written by V. Michael McKay, performed by Dr. Leo Davis in the Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church Choir.
On March 31st, tests confirmed that I had coronavirus. Listen, those 14 days were rough and challenging. The hardest part about fighting the virus was thinking that I had to fight the virus alone. But I quickly realized that I wasn't alone. I had my Boulevard family, I had my biological family, I had friends and even people that I didn't know supporting me. I can remember one night while fighting the virus that I called my mom and just let her know that how tired I was of fighting the virus. I was tired of being sick. I was tired of not being able to do for myself. But I was reminded that I have to rest on the promises of God. I had to rest on the promise that He would give me the victory. So if you're dealing with coronavirus or you're just anxious about the coronavirus, you have to rest on the promises of God. No matter how weary we get, no matter how disappointed we are, we rest on His promises that He would cause all of us to have the victory. I survived coronavirus, and you can too.
Hallelujah. I absolutely have chills right now.
Yes.
Rest for the weird. Dr. Davis, who's the soloist?
Linda, Lord, I can't think. Linda recently got married. Linda Thomas.
Linda
Linda Thomas.
Thomas.
Now,
Okay.
Linda is formerly with uh, Orlando Draper and the Associates.
Wow. Sounds a
She
lot
was
like
with, she,
Carolyn.
she recorded on one of those albums. I can't think of which song, but she's on one of those. I think the song that has Stand Up for Right. I think she's on that album. I
Oh.
can't remember the selection, but Linda's recorded with, she was a member of Alanda's group.
Oh wow. She's amazing. Your choir
Yeah,
is
she's a
phenomenal.
great, again, a great spirit, great spirit.
Wow. So, Dr. Davis, tell us where you're from. How did you begin music ministry? Tell us just a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a native Chicagoan. I celebrated my 63rd birthday this past October, and not ashamed of that at all. I'm grateful to God for the experience, the years. My dad was minister of music, Greater Galilee Baptist Church. He served there for 19 years, so I followed in his footsteps. That was my very first church job. In fact, at 15 years old, my dad hired me as organist for his choir, the Angelic Choir of Greater Galilee Baptist Church on the west side of Chicago. And
Wow.
he received $75 a week as the director of music and organist for the church. And out of that 75, he would give me $35 a week. I never will forget it. And
I
he
love it.
taught me, he said, this is I want you to learn how to not only to navigate your money, but also to know that you're to be respected for offering a service. So he taught me those principles early on. So couldn't wait. I thought I was rich at high school, $35 a week. That was big money.
Dr. Davis, you
Yeah.
wouldn't believe my first church job, I made $45 a week. I thought I was rich too.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was, we were very fortunate. So I played for my dad every Sunday, and then assumed a position at 19 as over that particular choir. But also, I just grew and grew. I had a passion for good church choir music. I studied with. Started at the age of 7 studying piano at the Chicago Conservatory of Music
Okay.
there, and I went to a private high school, elementary and high school, and was involved in the music programs there as well. So about 15 years old, he knew my gifts had started to blossom in terms of a pianist, but my love for organ and studying pipe organ. And I started studying pipe organ with, I can't think of the organist's name now. Oh my God. Ryan, oh God, he was my first organ teacher that played at the Catholic school that I attended at St. Michael's. And so he was the organist there. We had a wonderful pipe organ there on the north side of Chicago. And I would go early in the mornings to study with him. And I can recall those lessons, walking up those spiral staircases to get to his lesson. Oh, it was almost like a scary movie. The staircases, I still can remember going up and studying those pieces, the prelude, the little fugues by Bach, the prelude and fugue in C major, all those little things. So I learned that. And then I wanted to learn gospel organ. So I started studying with Charles Clancy, who was a phenomenal musician in the Chicago area. Also had a great church choir, but also had this semi-professional Black ensemble, the Voices of Melody. And what struck me about the Voices of Melody is that Charles had them, they did everything from Handel to Haydn to 20th century works by Black composers, other composers, and then gospel music. It was just unbelievable. So I was the new kid on the block with that group and studying with him. So I learned, just hearing all this kind of wonderful music. And then every church choir that Charles became affiliated with was diverse, and they were first class. So he had Martin Temple AME Zion Church. He was working at Cosmopolitan. When
Wow.
Cosmopolitan was in the heyday, they were really singing. Go on YouTube and look up Charles Clancy and the Cosmopolitan Church Choir back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I
I
wish you
remember.
could
Yes.
find them doing. They back in the day, Cosmopolitan was performing works from the Messiah. Their broadcast, they would do the whole broadcast just works from the Messiah.
Wow.
It was just unbelievable. You didn't, and everything he touched, he put that sound. So Cosmopolitan, Shelby Wills, and all those guys, Allen, that came afterwards and put Cosmopolitan out there, they're staying on the shoulders of Charles Clancy. Charles Clancy really built a more diverse group back in that day. Not against what they're doing now, but back in the day,
Right.
really was a more diverse group. So that's encouraged the energy for me to have just a diverse that a church choir could be that. And then Chicago being the city that I was in,
Mhm.
you had all kinds of diverse music. I
Right.
would go to Chicago Symphony Chorus rehearsals. I attended Ebenezer Baptist Church with Hortense Love, who was the minister of music, and she featured a Messiah every year that she
Mm.
could have William Warfield, Lawrence Craig, Leontine Price as soloists. I mean, they had the premier Messiah in the city.
Wow.
Florence Smith was at Greater Bethesda Baptist Church. So you had a lot of churches and schools that were doing premier works all the time and premier music ministry. So not only was Chicago known for great gospel music, but it also preempted so much wonderful music within Black churches
Wow.
around the city, all kind of premier music. So you just had that, I had all that around me. So
So I think you kind of hit on my second question already. I'm going to ask you. You are extremely talented. Many people, I don't know if they know this or not, because many of them just see you playing and directing. Maybe you might share a clip on Facebook or something where you're teaching the choirs, but you are actually a really gifted soloist. You really can sing. Oh my God. I love to hear you sing. But it's the quality of the diverse music that you're able to produce week after week with your choirs in Mississippi
thank you.
Boulevard. Most church choirs are comprised of singers who are just members who just want to sing. And they may not be professional singers and they may not have the training it takes to present the quality of music you present. Can you talk to our audience about how you began training your choirs to present such a high level of quality music?
Well, I think for me, it's always been the passion. The leader has to be passionate about it. And if the volunteers, I think it's more for me the experience of seeing volunteers being transformed that come in from working all day, and then you transform them into you place what's inside of you, and they begin to attach themselves to the love of the music, the diversity of the music, the challenge of it. And so when they see the expectation, and they see the expectation every week, and every week that you're prepared, every week that you're coming in, that they know where to go, all the music is there, they can go on planning center, all everything. It's about the professionalism of the leadership and the passion of the leadership. So that comes across to the everyday lay person
I
that wants to
love
be a
it.
part, and they know the expectation, and they just embrace it. They
Mhm.
begin to embrace it because they sense the passion from the leadership. I think passionate leadership is everything. They
Mm.
can lead you to the water. They can lead you anywhere. We have so many cults, these cults and other things that are established because of leadership, whatever it is, but it galvanizes the person. It galvanizes the heart. And so I think that's essentially what it is. I think I've been able to do that. I've been graced by God to do it. I'm grateful for it. And to just have people and to have leadership that supports. I've worked under 5 pastors.
Mm.
I've been here 32 years. So three have been the senior pastors and 2 interim.
Okay.
And needless to say, I've had 5 different personalities to work with. So
Hmm.
I've learned how to respect the seat, maybe the person, but it's just the seat and office of the pastor. I've learned how to respect that. So
Oh,
that's
wow.
helped because they've been very supportive. I've had,
I
great
think
leader. I've been blessed with that.
I think you have really laid out some wonderful golden nuggets for our people. If you're going to be in leadership, you need to come prepared.
Oh
As a
yeah.
minister of music, as you said, your choir members are going to follow your passion and what it is you present
Right.
to them. And wow, it is very evident with your choirs that you come prepared and they latch
Yeah.
on to that. I want to talk with you about the sight reading because here at Lewis Chapel, a lot of my choir members do read music, but a lot of them do not. But I mean, do all of your choir members read, or do you teach sight reading classes to them? How do
No,
you?
no, 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 no. They don't read, and I try to do some sight reading and all that. That's hard with lay people. It's just, you got to make stuff quick. We have what, 90 minutes in rehearsal? I try anything over 90 minutes with lay people after 6 o'clock in the evening, forget it.
Yeah.
They just don't have the energy for it. People don't have the energy for that now. And after the pandemic, all of that's out the window. We've got to structure it. Rehearsals, when they come back, it's got to be totally different.
Right.
So I think it's making. I was looking at this. Funny you mentioned. Look at this Melodia book, and so I use some Melodia every now and then, some exercises. Otherwise, I talk about intervals as they go. I talk about intervals as they go. I use a lot of practice tapes. Sometimes I can get them through choral masters, or the guy in California, San Francisco. He has a lot of works that I already have preempted. So I get them to listen a lot, practice tapes. They have Dropbox files, like preparing for Christmas. Christmas is prepared by August, so they know working on. We're not doing Christmas this year, of course, but normally it's August. They start rehearsals when they come back off of a July break. August we start Christmas, so we do lots of what am I trying to say? Sectional rehearsals, all that kind of thing. So,
Okay.
there's a lot of things in place to help them
Gotcha.
maneuver. I wish I did have a group full of singers. They just work hard.
Yeah.
Sight readers. And then those that sight read, they're section leaders. They help out, so they help others. So, I'm working hard like everybody else. Don't get it twisted.
Oh my God.
Everybody else.
Well,
We're all working hard together.
the level of music you do, you would think everybody read the score.
Well, you just push. You
Mhm.
just push. You just push. You push. You push. And then when I can get some ringers to come into where I need, I do that.
Gotcha.
So I do whatever it takes. I do what it takes to make it work. We pull all kind of. We are gifted in several areas. They want us to be. We have to be magicians, psychiatrists,
You're right.
entertainers, encouragers,
Yeah, counselor.
mobilizers, stabilizers, counselors. We got about 8 personalities.
You're right.
We do. We have to do all that to make it work. All that to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a clue. People
You're
just think, oh, they're just up there earning. They have no clue what it takes to make this work from week to week. And then guess what? When they leave the service on that Sunday, or when they click off the broadcast, they turn around and say, what are they going to do next week?
Right.
It's over.
One of the things that's interesting about this is that you have, I don't know, anywhere from 30 to 60 singers up there, and you've got to make sure everybody is singing their part correctly and taking the breath at the same time.
There you go.
All of these different moving pieces. And so you're absolutely right. It is a lot. But we've been talking about diversity and how diverse your choir is. I want to play a little bit of a music video, Praise Ye the Lord.
Yes.
That features Brandy.
Brandy Sutton. Yes.
Love her. Yes, organist Nathaniel Gums on pipe organ. Let's take a listen to Praise Ye the Lord.
And listen, Brandy's going to be with the Met. She's with the Metropolitan Opera. She was featured last year in Porgy and Bess, and she's with the Met this December in Cinderella.
Amazing. I love her.
She's doing great. She's doing great stuff.
Yeah, my first time being introduced to her, I believe, was at the Dorsey Convention a few years back. But phenomenal. So let's take a listen.
with the timbrel and a dance.
Praise him with the timbrel and a dance.
Praise him with the timbrel and a dance.
Praise him with stringed instruments.
With stringed instruments and organ. Praise him upon the loud cymbals.
Praise him upon the loud cymbals.
Praise him upon the high sounding cymbals.
Praise him upon the high sounding cymbals.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh my God, a breath of fresh air. Oh my God, Brandy, that was amazing. Dr. Davis, that was awesome. Awesome. So listen, I want to talk to you about being a minister of music in this pandemic. Can you offer us some nuggets of wisdom? When I watch your broadcast on Sundays, I'm like, they haven't skipped a beat. You know, I mean, we were able to do this type of music prior to the pandemic. We would do, you know, I Will Give Thanks, Rossini, and
Right.
all of the others, but we haven't been able to do any of that stuff since the pandemic. But you are rolling on. You all haven't missed a beat. Can you share with us your greatest struggle? Any encouraging words for us music ministers? How to continue to navigate through this pandemic? What has been your greatest struggle through this pandemic?
I think that what we all have to remember is that, as I say, even pre-pandemic, is that we have to be cognizant of the particular house God has called us to, and it's important that I'm watching other people as we all are. This pandemic caught everybody off guard. We were saying the things that we're doing now. We were saying, "Oh, we'll do that in a couple of years." Oh yeah, by 2025 we'll be this. 2024. Guess what? The pandemic said that's what you think, and so it pushed us into another area that, I mean, I was lost. I'm like, I literally thought, oh, it's really time. This is perfect time for me to retire. Perfect. I ain't trying to figure all this out. And it, as I simmered my emotions down and calmed down and allowed God to speak, and he reassured me that he was with me and showed me the steps easily. And it's really been about just communicating with others, what others are doing, what fit the DNA. I was very cognizant. And I want to push that to everyone else, being very cognizant and aware and sensitive to the DNA of your church. Everything doesn't fit everywhere. What New Birth may do works for New Birth. What Greater Allen does may work for Greater Allen. What Mississippi Boulevard works for Mississippi Boulevard. Everybody may not be called to do diversity. It's okay. Whatever it is that you're called to, let me say this. You are called to make sure that it is done in excellence. I don't care if it's unison singing. If that's what you're called to and that's all you're capable of doing, guess what? You can effectively do that well. 3 parts, harmony, we can never do. You may say we will never be able to do things from the side or praise ye the Lord like Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church. That's fine. That doesn't make you any less than we are. You're not underneath us or anybody else. Whatever that you have been called to and whatever that you have, that is what you're called to work to the best of your ability and to the best of your participants and your congregants' ability. Because
Absolutely.
whatever God calls you to, your people have to be, you have to make sure that they're willing to receive it as well as to participate in it. I'm big on congregational participation and
Mm-hmm.
hymns. We're back now. Every Sunday there's hymn singing. Every Sunday you're going to see the singers. If there are 9 singers, they're going to have the actual hymnal standing right in front because we're losing sight of that. I think that people need to see us singing out of actual hymn books.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Great is Our Faithfulness, the hymn Sunday, all the Advent hymns for next week, they're going to have a hymnal singing. So I think that's important for the church, the participation of church songs, lyrics on screens, lyrics available on screens that people can participate, whether they choose to be there or not, but they can feel engaged. That
Mm-hmm.
they're not just laying on the couch. If they want to lay on the couch, cool and watch, but at least there's something there to keep them engaged.
Mm-hmm.
That's our challenge now, keeping people engaged. Because guess what? If it's not exciting, whatever you do, you can take a. I was asking someone how they did this incredible scene, and I won't name the church. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
And I said, I called.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how did I'll do it in a minute. I'll call if I see something. I will call to find out. All you can tell me is no. I called and they said we had 5 iPhones
Mm-hmm.
and we captured it from different. I could not believe it. It was unbelievable. So that's the capability that we have now. So we
Yeah.
don't have those expensive cameras. Now, those of us that do,
Mm-hmm.
there's some churches that have the cameras. I was at talking to a friend last week. How'd you get those particular shots? She said, our cameramen have those cameras. They can put them on their backs. It's just unbelievable.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
you use what you have and to the
Mm-hmm.
effectiveness that and with God and look to God. He said, in all that ways, acknowledge me first, and I will do what? Direct your path. That's a promise.
And
Yeah,
and utilize those resources that are made available to you. You have people
that's
like
it.
I called you at the beginning of this pandemic. I think you were with Carlos Nichols at the time, and you
Right,
told me
right.
about multi-tracks, and we've been rocking with multi-tracks ever since.
I'm
So,
telling you now.
so thank you so much. Listen, Dr. Davis is a highly sought after clinician. I've had him here at Lewis Chapel quite a few times. Tell us real quickly, how can we book you? Where can we find you on social media?
You can come to social media, Leo Davis, Instagram, Henry Lee Music. Go on our church's website, Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church. My email address is davis.leo@theboulevard.org. Davis.leo@theboulevard.org. I'd be thrilled to come to your church. I don't think I have a copy of my latest book, No Gimmicks. I'm preparing to write another.
There are 2 volumes to that, aren't there?
Yes, so I'm getting ready to prepare another one. I don't have one here at the church. That's amazing.
I
I
have both
thought I
of
did,
them.
but
Love them. Love them. Love them.
so, but anyway, I'm going to prepare another. But anyway, I'd love to come and talk and share with you on your congregation at any time.
Well,
I'm
I
ready.
want to just thank you for your contribution to gospel music and to church music. Period. There's so many of us who look up to you. Every time we call you,
Thank you.
you're very humble. You share with us advice.
Oh,
Your
yes.
work is amazing. I want to thank you for even singing some of my original compositions. We're going to close
Yes.
today's show.
Yes.
One of my original compositions performed by the Mississippi Boulevard Christian
And
Church.
I was honored that you allowed us to do that. That was wonderful. It was wonderful. I loved it. The
Yes,
choir
and you,
loved it.
the orchestra with it. It was amazing, man. It was
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So we're gonna close out today with "Don't Forget Baby Jesus," featuring the Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church and Alicia Peters Jordan as we approach this holiday season. Don't forget Baby Jesus. Thank you, Dr. Davis, for this amazing interview.
My pleasure. Thank you, Will. Thank you for having me.
There's the world that needs to know.
Born in a manger, where there was no room for him in the end. This beautiful gift of life, he's the Savior of the world. holy. With new life and joy he brings this beautiful gift of life. He's the Savior of the world. Don't forget about Jesus. Don't forget about him, no. Yeah. He was born to save us all. Oh, don't you forget about him. Oh, don't forget. Oh, so as you go through this Christmas, exchanging gifts with friends and family, don't forget about Jesus. He is the reason for it all. So without him, there would be no Christmas. Baby Jesus. He was born to save us all. Don't forget he is the reason for it all. Put your hands together, everybody, if you know that he's the reason. Yes, he is the reason. Don't forget about Jesus. It doesn't matter how many presents you have under the tree. Don't forget about him. He's the reason. He's the reason for this season. Nobody like him. He is the reason. He's the one that brings joy. He's the one that brings love. He's the one that brings hope. Don't forget about Jesus. Don't forget about Jesus. Jesus is the reason. Don't forget